Alright everyone, welcome back. Gonna be doing another YouTube prediction video just for Saturday's card. Fight Island 5. Marlon Moraes, Sandhagen in the main event. That'll be a good fight. So I'm looking forward to it. Just a recap on the weekend past. Members got up about 11 units from Bellator. Bellator Euro Series, was it 9? James Gallagher card, Eleanor card, got up about 11 units on that from live bets, 5-1 live bets, and then UFC Fight Island 4 home Aldana sort of wasn't great, like wasn't my greatest work. Down about 2 units, nothing to worry about, like, but could have done better there. So overall profit over the weekend of about 9 units, so we'll take it. It's always good. Yeah, so just getting stuck in this card, and as always, if you want to sign up to the service, betting service, Twitter is in the description. Just fire me at DM and I'll get to you. But as I say last week or whenever it was, just try to DM me only about membership and nothing else, because you know, there's only a certain amount of time in the day, unfortunately. So first fight, Tiger Ulanbekov versus Bruno Silva. Just to keep this one quick, Ulanbekov, very talented. I'm surprised it's took this long for him to get into UFC. You know, he's been one of these rising prospects from the Russian circuit for many years. He's just a beast. I like him. I like Ulanbekov. He's good grappler. He's good on the feet. I just think he'll have too much for Bruno Silva here, which is reflected in the odds. Let me just check. So, yeah, and he's going down. He's getting put into parlays and accumulators and stuff. Personally, I can't go near minus 400. Really, for any fighter, really, unless it's like Amanda Nunes versus what do you call her? The girl who she fought last. Or Spencer. Like, that was 1-4, and that was rightfully 1-4. So I don't think Ulanbekov is, you know, at that standard yet. Felicia Spencer, that's who I was thinking of. I don't think Ulanbekov is that, like, chalky material yet. Especially in UFC debut, but I think he wins here. Most likely by decision. Bruno Silva, tough guy, hard to finish. So I like Ulanbekov by decision there. Next up, Tracy Cortez versus Stephanie Edgar. Stephanie Edgar, coming in on short notice. She is from Switzerland, fighting out of Switzerland. Her gym is Body Gym. Now, before I taped this fight, obviously a gym I hadn't heard of before. And then if you just look at her record, so she has, so two of her last 3 fights are body MMA clash. So it's an event where it was her gym headlining it. So it was like a professional smoker fight, where obviously it was meant for Edgar to look good and get a win, maybe pad up her record. And she just ran through the girls on that, in those fights. I mean, like, that's bad. But I seen her in the Invicta fight for Alexa Connors, which was probably her, like, you know, probably her only fight against a decent enough opponent. Alexa Connors just really pressurized her and boxed her up, so she did. Across 3 rounds, and it shouldn't have been a split decision. It should have been 30-27 for Connors. So I don't rate Edgar very highly. I will say she comes across as a grappler more than anything. Submission grappler, that is. So decent jiu-jitsu, but, you know, Tracy Cortez is just, I think she's going to run through her here any way she wants. Tracy Cortez, you know, she's not one of these just pure Instagram model type of, you know, fighter, female fighter. She actually does have a bit of substance there and a bit of skill. So she does, especially in the wrestling department, and when she's on top of these girls, it's a struggle. So we like Cortez here, but minus 250, like, it's low level women's MMA. It's hard to get behind, but as I say, I think Cortez gets it done, and I like her by decision. I think she's just gonna have too much for Stephanie Edgar here, whose record is highly padded, and she's just unproven. So next up, great fight here at 145, Gigachikaze versus Omar Morales. Now, Omar Morales is a guy I've been high on for a while, ever since he had his lone Contender Series appearance against Harvey Park. End up chopping him down with leg kicks, and end up getting a TKO in the second round, that one. Then he fought Dong Hun Ma, and I did bet him in that one, Morales, but I can't remember if it was an early lane, just an early money lane, or it was by I think it was actually, I think it was money lane I bet him there. Can't remember how much, like, but, and then I remember betting him like 3 units against Gabriel Benitez, posted up on Twitter, you know, for before I set up the service, that I liked Morales in that one. I had 3 units on him at, I think it was early odds of 8-13, so minus 160, yeah. So I have Morales by minus 160 there, and he came through. But that was a really good fight, that one. That was against Gabriel Mowgli Benitez, who's, I would say, he's a good kickboxer, so he is. I know Omar Morales just outstruck him. He just, you know, he's one of these gritty guys who, very good stand-up, very good kicks, good cardio, just tough. Omar Morales, I like him, and the calf kick, as seen in the last number of years, is just increasingly more prominent, and that is one of Morales' major tools. Gigachikaze, we've seen him fight 2 fights in the UFC, sorry, 3. Before that, he lost on Contender Series against Austin Springer. And that fight showed us, it's a bit obvious where his weakness is. It's the ground game. And whenever he's on his back, he doesn't really have an answer. Whether Morales goes for takedowns, I don't think he does. I think it stays up on the feet. It's a fight between 2 strikers. Very good matchup. It's a weird one because Gigachikaze, it's hard to figure him out, to be honest. I would need to do a wee bit more research on him, what actually style he comes from. Maybe if you know in the comments or whatever, you can put it in. But like a karate, taekwondo, kickboxing style, sort of. Very late on his feet, in and out. Doesn't really, you know, he's definitely not Muay Thai or anything. As would say, Omar Morales is more like, you know, MMA, kickboxing, Muay Thai for Omar Morales, whereas Giga is more like karate based, sort of. Because Giga's hands aren't exactly great. They're decent, they're alright. Fires out jab and stuff alright, but I mean, he's not like Peter Yan level of MMA boxing. No way, but he fights long and he's very big for the division. Now, interestingly enough, when I seen this fight, like to start off with, I was wondering, like, how did this fight come about? Because Omar Morales, like, he used to fight at welterweight, and now he is now this is a featherweight fight, so it's the first time he's going down in 145. And to be honest, before I seen that he was going down in 145, I sort of had worries. But when I capped this fight after, like, he's a decent size lightweight, but he can just trim some, you know, body fat off him or whatever and slim down a wee bit to cut to 145. So I don't think it's, I don't think he's going to be drained as much as some people think that have like listened to the respect in the game and stuff. I don't think he's going to be, you know, at a cardio disadvantage because he's making the first cut to 145 of his career. And I like him. I like Omar Morales. It'll be interesting to see how his fight pans out on the feet. whether Morales, goes after the legs of Giga because he relies on movement so much, and that would, mitigate his game, or whether he just really gets in the face of Giga, pressurizes him, or maybe Morales wrestles him because Giga's biggest weakness is off his back. But to be honest, I think if this fight is fully, on the feet for 50 minutes, I actually think it's going to be very close to it. I think it's maybe 50-50 fight, maybe edging towards 55-45 for Morales. Because Giga just fights so long. He's big for the division. He has a very big leg reach. So he does. That he utilises well in the Jamal Hammers and stuff. And Irwin Rivera fight. Hitting Rivera, very short guy for... Well, Rivera natural bantamweight, but he was just firing up knees and stuff. And he was getting a decent bit of distance on him. So he was. Because there's obviously long legs. He's 6 foot featherweight. He's one of the bigger guys for this division. So if it is on the feet, I think it's 50-50 to be honest. But that would indicate that the value said is Giga. So it was because he's plus 135. But if we're going off like a straight up pick, I would edge towards the guy with the higher ceiling and a more well-rounded game in Omar Morales. And he has a cardio advantage here because Giga does slow down. He does a lot of flashy kicks, flashy, just crazy maneuvers, like taekwondo shit, spinning shit and all. And then in the second round he slows down a bit. We've seen that in the Amherst fight, big time he slowed down there. And I didn't actually watch the Davis fight, but or I didn't actually, re-watch it on tape, but I remember watching it live. He slowed down there also. So, as I say, I'm just going to give it to the more durable guy, the guy with the better cardio, better, I'd just say the guy with the higher ceiling in Omar Morales. I'm concerned a bit about the cut to 145, but I don't think it'll be major. So Omar Morales the winner. Gonna say by decision because Giga is tough. One second. Alright, that's alright. So next up, Ollie Alcazy versus Tony Kelly. This is an interesting fight. To me, anyway. Ali Alcazy won his last fight, in my opinion, against Irwin Rivera, but obviously the judges didn't see it for that way. It was a close fight. But to be honest, this guy isn't very good, to be honest, especially if he's losing to Irwin Rivera. I don't rate Alcazy very well. I mean, his wrestling's alright, but whenever he took Rivera down, it was just a matter of minutes before he get back up. And to be honest, Tony Kelly, his first fight down at 135. He originally a featherweight. What height is he? 5'9", so he's gonna be a big bantamweight, so he is. And he looked alright at 145, so he did, against Kai Kamaka, and that was a fight that was on. I was on in under 4 days' notice, I believe, because I remember odds coming out for that fight very late, like same day odds as the fight. It was a good fight, so it was. Tony Kelly had moments in it. He just slowed down. Kai Kamaka just, relentless with pressure and pace. He just outworked Tony Kelly. So he did. Kai Kamaka, I actually think he's very good, so I rate him. So that's nothing to, hold your head in shame about. And a lot of sharp money's come on Tony Kelly, so it has. He's down to 210. I'm pretty sure he's more than that now. Yeah, so he's like 220 odds. And he's going down, so he is. To be honest, I can see why people's playing him, but it's just not the type of chalk I want to be paying on someone who doesn't even have a win in the UFC yet. Now, obviously, just speaking stylistically here, Tony Kelly's advantage here in this fight will be on the feet. If Alcazy can't keep him down, he's just going to be in trouble. Tony Kelly, very, very good movement and very good speed, I would say. He's quick on the feet. And he's decent standing up. So he will have the stand-up advantage here. And he's going to have the size advantage over Alcazy, who, to be honest, I don't rate very much, because if you go back and watch some of his brave fights and before that and stuff, he was like in the clinch, jumping off, flying guillotines and all, which is never a sub attempt that you see from, you know, high level guys. Maybe the likes of Brian Ortega can pull it off, but it's just a very low outcome submission, and he was jumping for that and losing position and stuff, so don't necessarily rate Alcazy very well. I think this is a good fight for Tony Kelly. Let's just see what he opened up at. Plus 110. Jesus. This is what I mean. I need to get on bad online. That is crazy. That's very nice. Even, to be honest, even 160, 180, that'd be a good bet, but I wouldn't want to play the juice now on Tony Kelly, to be honest. But as I say, I like him there, and I like him by decision. So Tony Kelly by decision there over Alcazy. Next up, Kasanganay versus Joaquin Buckner. Joaquin came in on short notice for his UFC debut. He didn't look too good. He got dinged up on the feet by Kevin Holland, and Kevin Holland, to be honest, he was playing with his food there, so he was that whole fight. He was just in there enjoying himself, and he knew at any moment he could finish that fight if he really wanted to. But to be honest, Joaquin Buckley, he isn't bad. I sort of was making it across like he's terrible. He's not. He's decent, but Impa is the guy with the higher ceiling to me and the more well-rounded game. Joaquin likes a brawl, so he does. He likes being in the pocket because he's a big guy. Used to be down at 170, but he's very filled out for 185 and stuff. Not the biggest guy for middleweight, but in terms of body structure, very wide, wide shoulders, just thick all around. So he's not the type of guy that you want to be on the end of his punches, so he's not. But we learned in the Maki Pitolo fight that Impa can take a shot, like, so he really can. I thought in the first round Pitolo was going to catch Impa with something that was going to put him down, because they were getting in all these exchanges. I thought it was a matter of time before Pitolo catch them, but the only times he did catch Impa took it well, and then he went and fell back on his wrestling, which won him that fight. And he is a guy that I know well from the Contender Series and stuff. I actually rate Impa very well, so I do. He's only been a pro for about 18 months now, and he's put together a very well-rounded game in that time. I would say mostly a grappler, but his stand-up's coming along. He does have power, like I've seen in the Pitolo fight. He can give one and take one, so he can on the feet. So to be honest, anywhere Impa wants to take this fight, he can. If he wants to rely on his grappling and grind out Joaquin Buckley, he can, as seen with Joaquin's loss to Logan Storley, who took him down relentlessly, got takedowns 30 seconds into every round and just outgrinded Joaquin. So Joaquin's wrestling isn't all there, but very powerful guy, fast twitch guy. He will be hard to keep down in round one, but if it goes past 5 minutes, this is Impa's fight to lose, in my opinion. And I think he takes this one by decision, so I'm fairly confident in Impa. I think his line's going to come down to maybe minus 225, so I think that's decent there, to be honest. Yeah, his line's going down a bit. So as I say, I like Impa there, and I like him by decision, most likely. Alright, moving on to the next fight. Rodrigo Nashimato versus Chris Dawkins. Chris Dawkins we seen get a decent win 2 months ago against Parker Porter there. He knocked him out in the first round. Chris Daukaus is the brother of Kyle Daukaus, who is Kyle Daukaus still in the UFC? Can't really remember. I believe he is, or he might have been. He used to be in it or something. Chris Daukaus middleweight, or sorry, Kyle Daukaus middleweight. Chris Daukaus, the brother, is heavyweight. Chris Daukaus mostly a brawler, so he is. He likes the exchange on the feet. Powerful guy on the feet. Not very athletic, to be honest, but carries a good bit of power, especially as a big heavyweight. So that's where he will want to keep this fight on the feet versus Rodrigo Nashimato. And what I like about these quick turnaround fights, since the obviously UFC has came back from the pandemic and stuff, is that these guys are fighting very regularly. So Nashimato and Chris Daukaus, I didn't even have the tape because I taped him. I taped Nashimato in the 5th, what's that, May. So I taped him in May, and then I taped Daukaus just 2 months ago in August there. So that's always good. But getting back to the fight, so Nashimato, he is grappler by trade, trains at ATT, obviously great gym. He's very powerful on the feet, but his wheelhouse is his grappling, where he will probably look to take this fight, because if he wants to, manage risk, I would say taking Daukaus to the ground is the move for me anyway. I think it's fairly obvious. Nashimato, he really should win this fight. Just the more well-rounded guy, the higher ceiling guy. He just has a deadly ground game, especially if he gets on top. I mean, if he gets a takedown with more than 3 minutes against some of these guys, especially the lower heavyweights, he's just gonna finish them. So he is very suffocating top game, and he just ends up putting on a choke and finishing these guys. I've seen with the Don'Tale Mayes fight. Don'Tale Mayes isn't UFC level, but a good win nevertheless. So I like Nashimato here. I think that's reflected in the odds. He's minus 260 now. But it is heavyweight MMA, so you never know what to expect. Personally, I don't really like the line as it is, but I think Nashimato just gets Daukaus down with one takedown or whatever, and just finishes him on the ground. Whether it's arm triangle choke, rear naked or something. I think it's just going to top Chris Daukaus out here. So we've got Nashimato by sub in that one. Next up, Tom Breeze making his return to the octagon. We haven't seen him since February against Brendan Allen. That was a quick fight. It took about 30 seconds for Brendan Allen to get a takedown. And then from there on, Tom Breeze had no chance. But if you just look at Tom Breeze's record, he's had 5 fight cancellations, and one of the reasons is for that is because Tom Breeze has been open about anxiety disorder he has, before fights and stuff. He gets very nervous to the point where he's physically being sick, as in the Oluwe Bamboze fight. He had to pull out because he was just vomiting in the back because of nerves, basically anxiety. So that's never a great sign. You just have to be ruthless in this game. You just have to be so mentally strong. Like, it's hard to not feel sorry for the guy, but it's just a mental hurdle for him to fight like it. And if he's like at every fight, especially coming up against, these top level guys versus Brendan Allen, who are just ruthless in there, they're just going to have a immediate edge going into the octagon before the fight is even started. So I'm not particularly high on Tom Breeze. Obviously not just because of the anxiety or whatever he suffers from, but technically as well. I think he hasn't really evolved this game since he's came into the UFC. He is a guy that he likes to brawl on the feet, decent boxing, powerful enough, so he is. So his fights at middleweight. So he used to fight at welterweight, now he's up at middleweight. You know, he's decent size, but yeah, he's 6'3", so he's big lad. Surprised he even made welterweight, to be honest. He's coming up against KB Buller. KB Buller's, I've watched one of his fights. Can't even remember who it was against. What is it? It was against your man Cody, I believe. Let me see. Just check his topology. It was against Cody. The rest of his fights are behind a paywall, so I wasn't willing to pay money to see his fights. But I can't say from the Cody Crane fight, he didn't look good, to be honest. KB Buller, I'm sort of unsure what exactly his game plan is going to in the octagon. He obviously seems like he's a stand-up fighter. He likes to stay long and kickbox on the outside, but whenever Cody Crane, who obviously a low-level guy, whenever he was closing distance and coming in on Buller, he was causing him some problems, and he's biting on feints and stuff, so it's never a good look. And let me see, this is a short notice fight. I think it is. He's meant to fight Kopylov, so I would have took Kopylov all day there against Tom Breeze, big time. So Buller, he was meant to fight him last week, and then it's been moved this week. So Buller's came in, I don't know how long, 2 weeks notice maybe, let's say, or under, for his UFC debut, which is obviously a bad sign. Let me just say this, I would never in a million years, I don't think, pay minus 250 on Tom Breeze, just because of how his game is, because of mental state he suffers with. But to be honest, this is a fight where he should win. If he is anywhere where he used to be, Tom Breeze, he should probably run through Buller, to be honest, because I don't think Buller's that entirely good. Just a line from this fight that jumped out to me. I'm not going to play it, but I think it's probably the value side. Fight not to go the distance, plus 110. Here over in Ireland, or UK books, you can still get them at. So 11 to 10 fight not to go the distance, which I think is decent, because Tom Breeze is a finisher, so he's not one that, likes to go to judges' scorecards. So that line would be the only thing I would probably play if I was going to play this fight, but I'm not. But I can't say Tom Breeze should win this fight. I think I like him by TKO, as I say. So I'll take Tom Breeze by TKO over KB Buller. So next up, great fight, Yusuf Zalal, who I'm very high on, versus Ilia Topuria. Not sure, maybe butchering the first name of Topuria there, but Yusuf Zalal, let me see, so I actually bet Austin Lingo against Yusuf Zalal, and then some of you may have this thing where you bet against the fighter, and then you watch, you obviously watch the fight, and then you just think to yourself, I can never bet against this fighter ever again. Do you know that type of thing? It wasn't a great move. Obviously, it was a shit bet, but that fight revealed to me how good Yusuf Zalal was. He was just on his feet. Such good movement. He just in and out. Barely. He doesn't really get hit. He is one of these guys who's utilized movement so that he he's always keeping his opponent guessing, and he likes to fight long. It's good job, good kicks, good teep up the middle. He's 5'10", he has 75-inch reach, and he likes to utilise it, as I was saying, with the in and out movement. He likes to utilise all of that reach, with his kicks, with his jabs. And then when he's coming up against the fighter who is probably better than him, or not necessarily better, but who's probably on par with him on the feet, he takes him down. As seen with the Lingo fight, he took him down, which I didn't see happening. I didn't see Zalal taking Lingo down. He took him down 3 times, and then he took down Griffin, I believe. I believe he did. There were some ground exchanges in that fight, and then obviously when he fought Peter Barrett in August there, which I was actually having some people, I was commenting under a prediction forum that Zalal is just going to run through Peter Barrett. Like, Peter Barrett's just going to have nothing for him. And then all these Peter Barrett fans were just coming at me and saying, you haven't a clue what you're on about. No, I was just like, that's alright, wait until the fight. And then obviously 30 seconds in, Zalal hits him with a spinning back kick right to the chin, almost knocks him out immediately. And then from there on, it was pure domination, whether it was on the grappling or on the feet. Yusuf Zalal just destroyed him, really. Peter Barrett didn't really have anything for him, as I predicted. But Topuria brings a very different style matchup, so he does, compared to the likes of Peter Barrett, Jordan Griffin. And in the Jordan Griffin fight, actually bet Zalal, so it did. I had 2 units on him. I pick him, so it did, minus 110. And then I had another unit on Zalal decision, so both those came through. Just getting back to Topuria, as I was saying, he brings a very different style matchup, so he does against Yusuf Zalal. He is a submission grappler, very strong and powerful, so he is. He used to fight at 135. He realised he couldn't make the weight anymore, so he's moved up to 145 and put on a decent bit of size. He's just thickened out, because he knows, I don't think he'll be fighting at 135 ever again in MMA. I very much doubt it. He's well filled out, so he is, but in terms of height, he would be on the smaller scale of 145, I would say. He's 5'7", so he's not the tallest, but I'd say very explosive, very filled out guy. Submission grappler, likes to take people down, and weirdly enough, in some of his fights, his opponents take him down, which you're sort of scratching your head, like thinking why would they? Which I don't have the answer for, but they did. And then Topuria, just from there, that was his wheelhouse, that was his world, and he ended up tapping him as expected. He got his first KO win, I believe, professionally, against Steve Gonzalez in his last fight. They're brave. He knocked him out with a big right hand on the feet. Gonzalez was backing up and he just caught him. So as I say, very powerful guy, but I don't think he wants anything to do with Zalal on the feet here. I think he'll look to take Zalal down, like Jordan Griffin took Zalal down, and really, try to get him in sticky situations on the ground, whether it's guillotine, anaconda, rear naked choke, or whatever. So this is how I see the fight, right? The fight is obviously, for me anyway, it's going to go 2 ways. Either Zalal outpoints him on the feet, just with his movement, Topuria can't really get near him. He ends up being on the worst exchange of stand-up exchanges, and then Zalal just, takes a decision victory, because he's not really a known finisher. He had the flying knee against Hernandez, but I would say that was a one-off in terms of KOs for him. Or I can see Topuria very early on getting Zalal in some type of choke or something and maybe finishing them. But more likely the outcome is Zalal wins by decision. So it is. But if he does win by decision, I can guarantee you that there's going to be some moments where Topuria will have Zalal in some sticky situations. Like, he's going to have moments, definitely. Undoubtedly will have moments against Zalal. So make it a better live betting lane than the current money lane, which if you just look at it is, so Zalal's hitting minus 200 now, and he's going to be probably minus 200 by tomorrow. But see when I was taping this fight, when I was handicapping this fight, he was at minus 160, which was on Monday, yesterday. So I was thinking about playing Zalal, but it was one of those ones where you're just unsure of in your stomach, and you just have a level of doubt about. And Zalal at 160, for me, it was just that situation, so I didn't play him. I don't regret it, but if there was a time to play Zalal, it was then. But as I say, I've been sort of having these pre-fight bets where I've put money down and then I've regretted it because I've just had a sense of doubt about it. And Zalal, for me, I just have a sense of doubt. But honestly, I do think he wins this fight. But from a betting perspective, I'm not going to lay money down on him. Because it most likely does go 15 minutes and Topuria does have moments, so it'll be good for live betting. Topuria can't be underestimated because he's very good submission grappler. He will cause Zalal some troubles, but I can see just Zalal getting the edge here on scorecards and getting decision victory over Topuria. So use of Zalal there by decision. So next up, Tom Aspinall versus Alan Paddock. I haven't even taped this fight. I know Aspinall from his fight 3 months ago against Jake Collier. I actually bet Aspinall on that one inside the distance. Or it was TKO. I had Aspinall by TKO on that one. It was like plus 110 I had him at. So 11 to 10 here. And it obviously came through. I tipped it and stuff to members, so it was good. Because Collier came in that fight and he was just looked horrendous. Heavyweight's not the move for him. I think he's just done. I think he's washed. But just wiki capping this fight, I have no clue about it. I think UFC are getting him in just to make Aspinall look good, to be honest. I think, Aspinall knocks him out here because he hadn't really fought anyone of note. If you just look at his record, most of the fighters he's fought have a losing record. The only one with a winning record was Dalcha, and Dalcha knocked him out in 26 seconds, so I can just see the same outcome happening here probably. I like Aspinall here. I will say by TKO in that one. Alright, next up, Marcus Perez versus Driscus Duplessis. I just call him Driscus for the ease sake for the video. So weirdly enough, Marcus Perez versus Wellington Tournament is a fight. Just, obviously handicapping a lot of fights. That's a fight I've watched so many times. Just a weird one. But Tournament obviously got the better of him on the feet and stuff. Marcus Perez in that fight. Marcus Perez, very wild guy on the feet. But dangerous with his grappling, especially if he gets on top or gets a hold of a neck. If he gets a hold of your neck, you're fucked, most likely, to be honest. But he has trouble against guys who can prevent takedowns and stuff, like Eric Anders, like Wellington Turman, and Andrew Sanchez and stuff. So if you can't get him down and you're better on the feet, you'll give him some problems. I haven't seen enough of Driscus to say that he won't be able to, or he will be able to keep us on the feet and work his stand-up game. But when I watched Driscus, I wasn't entirely impressed with his stand-up, to be honest. He comes from a K1 background here, as it says here on Topology, but I wasn't entirely impressed with him at all on the feet, to be honest. Maybe you would have to, go back and dive into more tape, but to be honest, I'm surprised Marcus Perez is the dog here, so yeah, because he is, he's proven at UFC level. May not be the greatest middleweight in the world, but he's proven at least, and Driscus isn't. Maybe Driscus keep this one the feet and 8 points Marcus Perez, but to be honest, Marcus Perez, if he hits takedowns on Driscus and gets a hold of something, Driscus is done. And even if, somehow the managed to end up in a grappling exchange, as I say, Driscus is dust, but can't say I have a strong read in this fight. I'll go with the underdog here, Marcus Perez, because just level of competition and stuff. I'll say by sub, so plus 125 underdog there, Marcus Perez to beat Driscus by sub in that one. But I'm not confident in it. Don't really have a great read on it, to be honest. So up next, Big Ben Rafael versus Marcin Tybura. Marcin Tybura, I bet in his last fight against Maxim Grishin. Maxim Grishin was coming off from light heavyweight, the heavyweight for that fight, and just didn't look great, to be honest. Tybura just imposed his physical will on him and got a decision victory. But if you watch Tybura, he isn't a finisher, so he isn't. He likes to grind fighters out, so he does. He likes to work his, impose his physical will on fighters, and his cardio game rely on it when they, slow down and stuff. So that's his whole game plan. Work the clinch, work the takedowns up against the fence, and basically outpoint these guys. Ben Rafael, very good win in his last performance against OSP, but OSP, he was another light heavyweight coming up to heavyweight in that one. He didn't look great, to be honest, but I think, to be honest, Ben Rafael just gave him issues because of his pressure that OSP ended up succumbing to. OSP ended up succumbing to the forward movement and relentless pressure of Ben Rafael, who was just, eating his shots. He didn't give OSP any time, and he ended up just hurting him. But Ben Rafael, he did get dropped in that one, I believe, at the end of the third round, I think it was. But I had him winning the first 2 rounds anyway, so I did. So I thought he won that fight. I didn't think it was, I wouldn't necessarily see it as a split decision. The judges gave it, but I thought Ben Rafael won it pretty clearly. But he's just going to be coming forward on Tybura, and Ben Rafael isn't a guy that's going to be easy to take down. And in Tybura's losses, he has suffered under the hands of imposing heavyweights who like to come forward and impose their stand-up. Now, does that ring any bells? That's Ben Rafael's entire game, so it is. So that's what he likes to do, and that's where Tybura's losses have come under. The Sakai fight, the Shamil Abdurakhimov fight, the Derek Lewis fight. And to be honest, Ben Rafael hasn't been took down in years, and he has good takedown defense, and if fighters do shoot on him, he has good submissions with the, omoplatas, all sorts of guillotines and stuff that he can rely back on if fighters shoot double legs on him. So to be honest, I can't really see Tybura winning here, to be honest. I can't see much avenues of victory here for him, because I don't think he backs up Ben Rafael. Ben Rafael is just going to be coming forward at every exchange here, and I can't see Tybura taking him down. So the way I see his fight is Ben Rafael coming forward, working his boxing, very awkward style, stands square on, Ben Raphael does. One foot isn't further than the other, which is quite weird, but his stand-up can't be slept upon. As seen in Stefan Struve fight, he still has the power, and he has heavy hands. So if he comes forward on Tibura, for me anyway, will relent under the... He will break under the pressure of Ben Raphael, which you can see happening. And most likely Tibura just backing up, slowing down, Ben Raphael getting the better of stand-up exchanges and then just knocking him out on the feet. That's the way I can see this fight going. Can't see Tibura clinching Ben Raphael for the entire fight or taking him down. So I like Ben Raphael here. Gonna say by KO. So up next, Edson Barboza versus Makwan Amirkhani. Now I'll just say this from the top, I have tipped a 4-unit bet on Edson Barboza, the members. Excuse me, but I get in early at Edson Barboza. See, when this fight was announced, it was on Betfair as a potential future fight, you know, a fight in the works, and I had Barboza priced at minus 185. So I put down 40 units on that, and then I tipped it to members, which they got on. Now he's down to minus 250, and I think by fight night he'll probably hit maybe minus 300 or something, to be honest. It's possible, because he's going down a bit. But obviously I like Edson Barboza here. I thought he won his last fight against Dan Ige, who Dan Ige had to go on survival mode and just be relentless with takedowns. Really go for them, really put everything in them. And that's how he, in my opinion, he didn't beat Barboza, but he got the judge's decision. I thought Barboza won at 29-28. He dropped Ige and stuff in the first round, and I'm pretty sure he hurt him with a body shot as well later on in that fight. So I was fairly clear that Barboza won that for me anyway. So he looked good in his lone UFC featherweight performance and his debut down at the lower weight class. To be honest, this weight class made suit him, because at 155 he was carrying around a lot of muscle, which might have slowed him down, especially if grapplers such as Kevin Lee and Khabib were grappling, getting his muscles, needing oxygen, slowing him down. And obviously it was clear that when he slowed down big time. So he did, Barboza, but Barboza's takedown defense is very good, so it is. It's only the real higher end wrestlers at 155 that could take him down, such as Khabib, such as Kevin Lee, who on their day are, top 5 or top 3 wrestlers probably at 155, to be honest. So I like Barboza here because I can see this fight panning out on the feet, and I don't think Makwan's going to have an answer for the leg kicks, for the Muay Thai of Barboza. I just think he's going to put it on Makwan here, who relies on getting fighters down and then putting together a Darce or Anaconda, which we seen Barboza submitted by against Tony Ferguson, but Tony Ferguson's different kettle of fish than Makwan and Amirkhani. I mean, they're levels apart. So I can't see this fight being on the ground. If it is on the ground, Makwan maybe gets his takedown for at most 30 seconds or something, and then Barboza just gets back up because his wrestling get-up game is very good. And then I can just see him, Barboza, putting it on Makwan on the feet, and most likely getting a TKO or decision, because I just think Makwan, when he really feels, when fighters really impose it on him, to me anyway, in the Shane Burgos fight, he just broke. I think he just knew after the second round that fight he was dusted, and then he just broke to me. And if you slow down against Barboza in the same way, trying to get takedown and stuff, Barbosa's, he's just going to knock you out. He's just going to put you away, whether it's leg kicks, body shots, whatever, anything. He's just going to, put it on you, and that's why I like him here. That's why I tipped in the members at -185, so I'm playing Barbosa this weekend, and yeah, I think he wins by TKO. Moving on to the main event, Sandhagen versus Marlon Moraes. So, good main event here, very good fight. Marlon Moraes coming off the win against Jose Aldo. I thought he won that fight, to be honest. I know it was controversial, but Jose Aldo just shot himself in the foot in that fight. Like, he threw nothing in round 3. He just walked forward but didn't throw anything. Whereas Marlon Moraes, yes, he was going backwards, but he was still throwing and he was still landing on Aldo. So I thought it was fairly clear that Moraes won that one. He looked good. I thought he trimmed down a lot in that fight than he was in the Cejudo fight, because you could tell in the Cejudo fight he was big. Marlon Moraes, he was just thick in that one, and that's why he gassed, I think, because he just tried to get Cejudo out there. And Moraes, not the best cardio. He tried to get Cejudo out of there early, couldn't, slow down. Cejudo just put it on him and just outwilled him, just with fucking pure durableness, or durability, should I say. So Cejudo just survived that and then just outwilled him. And then Aldo, I thought Moraes won it, as I say, but I would say Moraes did slow down a bit in round 3, even though he did still outpoint Aldo. He did slow down a bit, so his cardio still hasn't been addressed, really, to be honest. But I think this fight will be competitive while Martin is fresh, so I can see. And to me, when I rewatched that Aldo fight, it was weird how Moraes didn't kick the legs Aldo. He maybe threw 1 or 2 low kicks, that was it. So he did. And I'm wondering if it's because Aldo obviously great Muay Thai. Maybe he was worried about the check of Aldo checking one of his leg kicks. Not sure. Or maybe it is because he went to the wall with leg kicks against Cejudo, and he ended up slowing down because of them, because he's putting everything into them. So maybe that's why he's took that out of his game. Or as I say, maybe it's because he was fearful of the check from Aldo. Who knows? But it'll be interesting if he brings it back here against Sandhagen, because to me that would be the move against Sandhagen, because he's so boxing heavy. He relies on his movement. Going to the legs would be the smartest option, probably. And being obviously very efficient with the energy, he's probably moved the win here for Moraes, but he's not going to change what brought him to the dance, in my opinion. He always starts quick. Even in the Aldo fight, he started quick. He won the first round, head kicks Aldo, goes for the finish, kinda, and then Aldo survived, and Moraes, even though he did win the fight, he slowed down a bit. So as I say, I think this is very 50-50 fight, as long as Moraes is fresh. Actually, when he's fresh, I'll probably give the edge to Moraes. He's a problem for anyone while he's fresh, but if Sandhagen can survive the early onslaught, he's just going to take over here, especially if Marlon Moraes isn't leg kicking and isn't slowing down the movement of Sandhagen. Sandhagen's just going to, it's going to be his wheelhouse, just pacing up tired, slowed down Marlon Moraes, who's backing up the whole time. So it's either one or two ways. Marlon Moraes either gets Sandhagen out there quick, round 1, finish, either sub or TKO, or Sandhagen survives the early onslaught and ends up putting it on Martin, which, to be honest, I like the latter here, sorry. I like Sandhagen to come out of this one with the win. But personally, I wouldn't be playing him as a favourite, to be honest. If anything, this fight is better for live betting because Martin Moraes, this fight is going to be competitive, very, very, very competitive, while Martin is fresh. Maybe competitive is the wrong word. Probably actually Martin is winning this fight while he's fresh, and then Sandhagen comes back out of the better end of it, just through sheer cardio and durability. Martin might break, especially his 5-rounder. Martin Moraes isn't great in 5 rounds, so he isn't. He's more of a 3-round fighter. But overall, I would say I like Sandhagen's chances of surviving the early onslaught and then just taking it to Martin Moraes, whether it's TKO in the 4th, 5th rounds or something, or decision. I just think if Moraes doesn't leg kick Sandhagen get him slowed down, Sandhagen probably will survive the early onslaught and come out of it the better. Just walking Moraes down and outstriking him on the feet. So that is the main event. So I'll say by decision. Corey Sandhagen by decision there in the main event. So that's the card wrapped up. As I say, if you're interested in becoming a member, fire me a DM on Twitter. Up around 9 units last week and had a good one. So I'll be back for the card next week. This is sort of becoming a weekly occurrence. So I'll have a video out for that one next week. So good luck with your bets and I'll see you then.